Hi guys, it's Wizard here. Now in my last video I spoke about mental illness and depression, and within that video I touched upon the fact that depression is an invisible illness, and to be honest it's one of many, both physical and mental, and that's what I wanted to talk about today, to try and help people understand what it's like to have an invisible illness in general, and to try and help people understand those of us who have got the invisible illnesses. Now, if you were to meet a friend, a family member, a colleague, or even someone off the street, outwardly they could look happy, they could look healthy, but on the inside it could be the total opposite. Just because you can't see an invisible illness, it doesn't mean that it's not there. And just because you can't see the invisible illness, it doesn't mean that the person isn't suffering, because they are. Now some people can mask it, some people can't, but for those that can mask it, they can be happy, smiley, and you wouldn't know any different. And that's basically why I wanted to talk to you about the invisible illness, is to try and help people understand and be a bit more compassionate, be a bit more understanding. You know, if you see someone who comes across as a bit tipsy or merry, they may not be tipsy or merry, they may be suffering from a mental illness. Or, you know, if you see someone who's had an accident, i.e. didn't get to the toilet in time, they may be suffering from a physical illness you don't know about. Or the classic one is parking in a disabled space. If they've got a blue badge but are physically able, then they may be suffering from a mental problem that enables them to be in a disabled space. So basically I just want people to try and, you know, get awareness, help themselves to understand what it's like to live with an invisible illness. Now in my last video I spoke about how I suffer from depression personally and what it's like to live with, but I've also lived with a physical syndrome called IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome. Everybody knows what it is, so I won't go into any graphic details because nobody would want that, but IBS, you can't see it, but it's still there, and I know it because I suffer from it, and it can be quite painful. On a scale of 1 to 10, some days it could be a 1, some days it could be a 5, and other days it could be a 10. And when it's a 10, it's excruciating. You can be, you know, literally hunched up, doubled up in pain, because it's that painful. I think the best way I can describe it is having an elastic band tied around your insides and then basically tightened until you can't keep any more. Now with IBS, it can be manageable, a bit more than depression, and how I manage it is the fact that I try and eat healthily. I have breakfast cereals for breakfast. I don't add any sugar on. I use low fat milk, so I don't add anything to it or any sugar at all, so I try and keep healthily. For lunch I have sandwiches, obviously buy a loaf of bread, have butter and marmalade and whatever on it. In terms of the evening meal, because I work late and I don't get home until 11, it's usually too late to be cooking and stuff, so I usually get a microwave meal. But as long as your diet is relatively balanced, then you should be okay. In terms of drinking, I don't drink any alcohol, except when I do, it'll be once in a blue moon, maybe once at Christmas. But I drink mainly cranberry juice, which is meant to be good for your insides. I also drink this stuff, water, which is natural, healthy. I don't drink as much as I should, but I drink as much as I can. One of the other ways is exercise. Now, when I'm at work, I'm on my feet all day. I'm constantly moving around, physically lifting stuff, putting it onto shelves, etc. So that virtually is my exercise. But when I'm at home, I also do exercises here. Now, if you can see here, I've got a dumbbell, which is 2 kilograms in weight. And basically what I do is I stand up, put my elbow to my hip, make sure my arms are straight, raise it up, put my hand to my shoulder, and put it back down again so it's straight. And I do that 10 times on each arm. I do that every single day. You can have medication for it, like everything else, but again, try not to rely on medication because you don't want to become dependent on it. And stress. One of the biggest forms of IBS is stress. So if you can de-stress yourself or try and do things that make you happy, or something that clears your mind, even going for like a massage, that's great for relaxation. If you can de-stress your life, then that's another way to manage IBS. But the other thing with IBS is that if you do suffer from it, it can be quite inconvenient at times. There have been times where I've had to go there and then, but I've always been near a facility at the time. I've never had any accidents, which is good, obviously. But I'm guessing there are probably other people out there that have had accidents through no fault of their own. And this goes back to what I was saying earlier, and basically the reason why I wanted to do this video is because we all have health problems, we all have good health, but for those of us who have an invisible illness that you can't see, I basically trying to urge people to be more understanding, be more compassionate. What you see isn't always the full picture. There's always something else going on in the background that you can't see. So yeah, that's basically why I wanted to do this video. It's a bit of a short one, this one. And I'll sign off this video like I did the last one. If you found this video helpful and insightful, give it a like, give it a share. I'm on Facebook and YouTube. And even if this video helps just one person or 2 people or 3 or how many, then it would have been worth it. Yeah, I don't know what else to say really, but thank you very much for watching. Please like, please share, please sub to my YouTube channel and my Facebook page, and I'll see you next time. Cheers. Thanks.